Israeli strikes have now destroyed hundreds of homes and civilian infrastructure in Lebanon. And in so doing, the UN's Human Rights Office says Israel may have committed war crimes. Lebanon's health ministry says more than 1,000 people have been killed. Ravina Shamdasani is the chief spokesperson for the UN Human Rights Office and joins us now. Ravina, good day to you.
Thanks, David.
Well, can you just take us through the part of international law? What is it exactly that could potentially have been broken in Israel's attacks?
Israel has been attacking residential areas, and we have documented the killing of entire families. We've also documented attacks on medical facilities, schools, civilian infrastructure writ large. Now, attacks on civilian infrastructure may amount to war crimes. We are seeing an increasing number of such attacks. We're also seeing Israel increasingly forcing people to be displaced from their homes, sometimes at very short notice. And indications are that more than 1 million people have already been forced from their homes in just the past 2.5 weeks.
I want to ask about the potential of war crimes and the targeting of civilian sites, because Israel has repeatedly argued that when they strike, even if it's in a civilian building, for instance, they are doing so, they say, because there are Hezbollah weapons or people or facilities inside that civilian site, that Hezbollah is making that choice. Does that change the question of whether law might be broken here?
So, international humanitarian law, these are literally the laws of war. And these are laws that are supposed to help you make calculations of what you do in difficult situations where you do have your enemy using civilian facilities as well. There are a few things that are very clear. Number one, the violation of the law by one party does not justify or excuse the violation by another party. Number two, civilian lives and infrastructure are paramount. Even if there is the presence of a combatant in a particular area, there are many other rules that need to apply: distinction, proportionality, precaution when you are carrying out these attacks. From everything that we have seen, there appears to be a disregard for these rules of international humanitarian law. And this is not the first time we are seeing this regarding Israel's actions in Lebanon. We have seen this previously. We're also seeing very worrying reports of the use of white phosphorus, for example, by Israel in Lebanon.
And what does white phosphorus do?
White phosphorus is extremely toxic. It is not completely forbidden. The use of white phosphorus in wars is not completely forbidden. However, its use in residential areas, in densely populated areas, or across land that may be used for agricultural purposes, for example, can be extremely damaging. It can be toxic for the population, and there it would amount to a violation of international law.
Israel has argued that as a strategy, when it is going to strike a civilian site, an apartment building, say, that they text everyone in that building and say, you have an hour to get out. Is that a mitigating strategy at all?
So again, let's be clear on what the law requires. The law does require advance warning. That is correct. Before there is a strike that is planned on an area, you need to give advance warning so that civilians are able to make arrangements to leave. When you give this advance warning at extremely short notice to a huge number of people, now again, we're talking about more than 1 million people displaced in a very short time. How do you expect these people to pack up and leave? You're creating extreme panic, anxiety, and chaos in society. People have had to sleep out on the streets. People have had to be stuck in their cars for hours and hours, or choose not to leave because they have no option. People with disabilities, elderly people, pregnant women, people with newborn children. It is simply not possible to pack up everything and leave in an hour.
What is the humanitarian situation in terms of access to supplies, to hygiene, to food for the millions who have now been displaced within Lebanon?
It is very difficult. Given the significant bombardment that has taken place, given the evacuation orders and the sheer size of the need. Remember also that there are a lot of vulnerable communities that were living in Lebanon. You had a large number of Syrians, Syrian refugees who had been in Lebanon. Many of them are trying now to go back to Syria. Others have been redisplaced, sometimes, for the third, fourth, or fifth time. It is a very difficult situation. And we also had incidents where hospitals were attacked and medics were killed.
Ravina Shamdasani, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.